Oh man, it's just something wrong
Oh,
with the screen. It must be these green glasses. Hey man, how we doing?
oh, I'm stressing. I'm stressing. Happy St. Patty's, St. Quarterbacks Day.
Yeah, the plus one the day after. All right, what do we got? Show us
Uh,
that list. Show us that list. We're in turmoil
possible,
here. We got
possible Stiller quarterbacks. Rogers,
Stillers.
he's in play, but I want him to be a no. He's
Yeah.
trolling us. He's trolling us.
Okay.
If you go back to the 70s or the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, Chuck Noll infamously said, Franco who? Greatest running back in the history of Pittsburgh Steelers, on the verge of breaking Jim Brown's record, held out. They cut him. Rogers is on vacation, not telling anybody what he's doing. He's not even a Steeler, and we're waiting for him. But Russ, I don't know. We have Mason Rudolph. I like Mason.
Yeah, you picked up Rudolph. I saw that. Yeah, brought him back. Yeah.
Bradshaw? Yep. Can he come out of retirement?
Hey, well, he might be retiring from on air soon. Maybe that's because he's going to be suited up with you guys. I don't know.
Shedeur Sanders.
It didn't work for Marino and Smith in the commercial. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Marino is a possibility. He's a Pittsburgh boy. Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he'll fall to 21, but you never know. Cousins, I don't want to trade for the guy. Fields, they wanted him for what I heard, but he left. And,
that's interesting.
Uncle Rico, he could throw the football over mountains. So we got two deep receivers. He's in play. Funny thing though, Miami picked up a Wilson. They picked up the Wilson from the Jets. When I saw that Wilson went to Miami, it was I thought it might be Russ. I'm like, why are they taking Russ when they have Tua?
Yeah, no, we got Zach. Yep, that'll be interesting.
Hey,
bring him up.
He was a first round pick.
I know. Lots of them. Well, let's see. We got the green colored glasses. We got the Italian / St. Patrick's Day gear. You got your hat, and then I think you robbed one of the Go-Go girls for the glasses. I'm just throwing it out there.
Go-Go's, not the Go-Go girls. The Go-Go's.
All right, the Go-Go's. All right. That's all right. Pal wouldn't have corrected me, watching online. But,
that's a little bit before his time.
A little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. All right. So St. Patrick's Day. All right. So, listen, talk about, the leprechaun and the shenanigans and all the stuff going on. We're hitting like 70s over the weekend. I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, I don't know. We kind of like have a spot where we'll watch some shows or whatever. And we'll be like, oh, this is, just the weather's going to be getting warmer. We're not going to be able to sit under the blankets, kind of watching our shows. I'm kind of, we'll see what we do. And then wham, we get hit Monday and it was freezing. It was chilly.
Yeah.
But now you guys, what do you got going on? Your weather?
It's been up and down roller coaster. We had the storms rolled through. Fortunately, they went south of us Saturday. They pushed Saturday storms back to Sunday, went south. We did have a bad rain come through, but it was warm. Monday, it was nice. Well, today's Tuesday, so Monday it was cold. Monday it was like in the 40s. I didn't go outside for bus duty. I dropped the cones up in the parking lot. It was real windy, blustery, cold. So I went and stood inside the doorway because I still have the sniffles from before. And then this morning it was cold, but then I come out and I'm in short sleeve shirt because it was warm. It was like 60 some degrees. And then tomorrow's going to be in the 70s.
Yeah, the weather towards the end of the week is just crazy.
Yeah, our temperature starts warm Thursday and drops. I think a chance of rain. Then it goes back up into the 50s or 40. I can't remember. But it's a roller coaster. And the parks aren't even open. Speaking of roller coasters, Kennywood, I heard, got sold. People are all in an uproar on Facebook. The people that own Dollywood are buying Kennywood. So you have the Dolly and Kennywood coupling there.
Interesting.
Yeah, the three big parks.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got, a lot of different things as far as weather goes, and the Verno family has officially adopted. Thursday is the vernal equinox, but I like to tell it's the Verno equinox. So we'll be rolling over and clicking over officially from winter, clicking over to spring, first day of spring. So excited for that. So yeah, so that's the 20th. So kicking in on Thursday.
Is that a day you get treats for your students on the Verno equinox, or they bring treats in?
they're supposed to bring treats in for me. It's kind of like, Ice Age, where everybody's trying to. What was this? I forget the squirrel's name, where everybody was bringing him treats, and then Sid the Sloth was getting treated. That's how I wanted to be. But yeah, we'll see. It'll probably end up being Friday. I'll do something dumb. I still got a couple more days to take this week, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's always interesting. Always interesting. I don't know how long. I know my daughter was laughing at me when I stole these glasses from her, so probably have to take these off here soon. I don't know. We don't have any.
My ring light was reflecting badly off my eye. I'm like, I took the glasses off.
That's funny. All right. Well, I don't really have much Dolphin talk. They like I said, Zach Wilson got signed. I haven't really been paying too close attention. I was having a conversation with my students. I'm, struggling. Like there's certain things that in social media, the different channels or whatever, stuff gets pushed out there and you're like, wait a minute, is this legit? And, some of it's just AI run videos. Some of it's just people putting stuff out, but like, there's been so much, as they say, a lot of fugazis, but a lot of fake stuff being put out there. So like, it was funny. It was in my homeroom class and talking to sixth graders about this. And they're like, yeah, the Eagles had this, and all these people are putting this stuff out there, but that wasn't even true. And I go, guys, yeah, you got to be really careful with what you're seeing. I know I was shocked with the DK Metcalf, and I sent that to you because I was like, my initial thought was like, is this legit or not? And but just some of these moves going on in this offseason, it's kind of I feel like it's a very unique time with a lot of the fake news that's being pushed out there.
Well, even before AI came out, I remember because I listened to a lot of sports podcasts, and what they were doing was like, Adam Schefter, they would spell it Adam Schechter, and one off on the Twitter handle, or ESPN would be like ESPM. And if you're not catching it right away, and they're putting out tweets and they're putting out stuff, and they're basically throwing fake information out, but it looks like it's a normal Twitter feed. And if you're on a phone, you get that small text, you can't quite see what you're doing, and people are falling for it. But last week, my students were just shaking their heads because I was in a tirade, no quarterback and $100 million receiver, and we're a running team. And I'm like, why? Like, I was like, we don't have anyone to throw the ball. We don't want to throw the ball. Why are we paying that much for? We didn't have a running back. I'm like, but hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like every day I just started off and the kids shook their heads like,
all right. Well, we don't want to veer the dog walkers and the car riders off too much. So this week in Armchair Quarterback, brought to you by got to get a sponsor for that segment.
Yes.
We'll work on that one. All right, man. Well, listen, I believe, St. Patrick's Day was on a Monday. So it's the day after. So we're rocking a Tuesday. And looking at the calendar, there's been a few Tuesdays already this month, I believe, right?
Yes, I think we're in Tuesday number 3.
Quite down. So I think it's the third Tuesday of the month. You're here. I'm here. Think it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. And PAECT, we are a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on education technology integrations in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
My name is Eric Vernal. Oh, you did. My name is Eric Vernal. I'm the president of PAECT. And with me today, as always, the Frozen Chosen,
Dom Salvucci. I am vice president of PAECT.
All right. Hey, there we go. Testing that out off the screen, but the video or the audio still works. All right. Well, today we are talking about our episode a day after, and we're just kind of talking about Shenanigans edition.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Just talking about, just different things we're doing, not necessarily pulling pranks, although, in our worlds, everything can be twisted to be a little prankish.
I did today because it was What's Up New Brighton club meeting. I always get food for my kids, and I had extra, and I felt bad because the one class I didn't have enough extra. I bought the Munchkins.
Yeah,
the little Dunkin' donut holes for the students. So I didn't have enough for my one class, but I had a small class, and they just started riffing on me and like messing with me. So I just casually went back into the sow cave at the back of my room, came out, and I was talking with them with the munchkins, and I just started eating them.
Please tell me you have a header. You need to have something of the Sal cave. I like it. If not, I got to work on that for you.
I just sat there and they was eating, and they're like, "Are we going to get some?" I'm like, "Not anymore. We don't have enough." And they're like, "Oh." I said, "But you're going to get a TikTok." So I pushed out a TikTok.
I saw that. Yep. I literally just had it on my phone. I'm like, "What in the?" And my wife's like, "What?" I go, What is Sal doing? What's going on here?" Yeah, she was just like, "Oh my gosh."
But I am giving them side quest points if they can figure out, how that works.
I heard, I was like, oh, he's got some kind of side quest thing. I thought, what if he just made this up for the video? Who knows? You never know with that guy. Yeah, so we'll have to hear more about that. But yeah. Oh, and our third co-host, our tri-host, is Charlie in the arms of Sal right there. That is not a Shenanigans. That is a legit dog. Okay. All right. Looks like Valcor from the Never Ending Story. We're boring the dog already. All right. All right, good stuff. Well, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some things that we got rolling in the classroom, different things, and just kind of kick it off. And we do have some guests in the pipeline, kind of upcoming. We just don't have anything rolling right now, so I think we're going to get directly into some tech notes. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Are you in the mood to kick it off?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Let's get some tech notes. All right, man. What do we got?
Okay. So let's get this up there. Hold on. I'm having issues here.
I can put it on the stage for you if you need it. Oh, no. It says it's already up there. It says it's already up there. That's odd.
Yeah. But it's not. There we go. So tomorrow I'm going to be at a conference. The Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English, WPCTE. They're an affiliate of NCTE. There are a lot of their members, and some of their board members are PAECT members. And for the last several years, we've been going to their conferences. A lot of them come to our conference, come to Tretzi and the regional conferences. So PAECT is going to have a table there tomorrow. It's free to be a member there with the Western Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English. So they're a good group. They're not a competitor of ours. They're actually a team member of ours. Mm-hmm. And then the conference tomorrow, as my students get all worked up because they go there and come back with writing ideas. Recharge and Ignite, prepping for the future in the ELA classroom. We have some PAECT members that will be presenting, and we'll have the table there. I'll be checking things out, floating around, catching some different things. We have the keynotes. Mark Curcio, Sarah Miller. I believe I've seen him speak before. I went to one of his sessions. Sarah Miller. They have the keynote people, sessions and presentations. A lot of good stuff is going on there.
Yeah.
So I'll be at that. It'll be a good day. It's at Slippery Rock University, so it's not even a far drive for me. Gina Ligori, she's a regular on our podcast. She's presenting.
Yep.
So Aspen. Some of the names I know, some of the names I'm not familiar with, but they always have a lot of good ideas. So I'll be cruising that tomorrow. Like I said, we'll have the table there. Jason.
Yeah.
It's great.
Pioneer. Yeah.
Oh, I taught with Scott long time ago when he was in New Brighton. He's a great guy. So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So check that out as I make everyone dizzy by scrolling quickly through the conference sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's a good thing. And springtime, this is always like, it's between Pete and Keystones and PSSAs. Yeah. It's always a good time to hit these conferences up, get some ideas. And last thing, one of our sponsors, Teachers First. I was perusing their site today, and I'm always looking for stuff. When we were talking about this in an online event for PAECT, just different things putting up for the kids. and Teachers First, I'm going to do more on this later because I have to admit I haven't been as deep in this site as I should. They're one of our sponsors. They have a lot of good professional development, but I came across the bulletin board hangups. So I have I used to put sayings and different pictures up and stuff on different boards in my room. But these you can print up and post them around your room if you want. You can write them on the whiteboards, put them into like a Canva and run with it. So the different proverbs, different poster materials.
It's nice.
So just different stuff to have. And it's, put stuff out for the kids, different sayings.
Yeah. And I think Teachers First does offer some live, I guess virtual sessions. And if you attend those, they will automatically submit your information through PAECT, and we will go through and award your Act 48 hours, kick that to the state. So it's a great partnership that we definitely have with them. So a lot of good stuff.
And like I said, I was fiddling around. You have, classroom resources you can go through. They have professional learning, professional resources. When you go through, they'll ask you like what grade level you teach, what are you interested in? So you can go for a wide range. You don't have to be pigeonholed into what you teach. And like with social studies, I go with the social studies stuff. I go with the English. They had a whole section on blogging I was fiddling with and going from there. So there's a lot of good information, and I'm going to go over it more in detail later. But, not playing with this site as much as I should have in the past. I'm not going to take a deep dive. I was too busy with my quarterback list. So I was a little sidetracked the last few weeks.
Yeah, you were. That's funny. Yep, and still more to come. Yeah, as far as football stuff. So all right, so you're saying at another time, you're saying going more in depth in another podcast, or possibly a little mini clip, I think, to kind of like walk through. All right. Very good. All right, man. All right, well, let's kick it off and let's hit us some other tech notes, I guess, to my side. Here we go.
All right.
All right. So first things first, in case you didn't know, we had a issue at the International Space Station, where some crew members went up and they were only expected to be there a short time, and they've been there a very long time. And so here and there, at school, spot checking it. I just kind of had this during science class. They just kind of, they had like NASA had live video playing. You were able to hear communications, watching. Now, all this took place after being out of school. Kids were able to see the shuttle docked to the International Space Station, hear them go through their checks. So that was kind of cool. And they shared an interesting fact. If you are 25 or older, you've known a time where nobody was living in space. If you are under 25 years of age, you've never had a time where there wasn't anybody living in space, which I thought was kind of wild. I mean, we have the Challenger scenario, we've talked about that at our board meetings, going through and just that, the quest for space and stuff. And now there's, the different things going on with like looking at Mars and doing different things. But I just thought, wow, like, yeah, if you're 25 or under, you've never had a time without somebody occupying space. So kind of a cool fact. Yeah.
And I remember, I don't think it was the first moon landing, but I do remember when I was a little kid being over my dad's friend's house. They had all kinds of like families over, and we were watching something going on with space and the moon, but I don't think it was the original moon landing.
Okay.
But it was around that time frame. I was, either, 3, 4, or 5. So it was close to that.
Yeah. No, very cool. Yeah. So I just thought it was kind of neat again. And gosh, talk about, I mean, I remember being so geeked out when we first got like Discovery Education, and what was it? It was called, was it United Streaming? I forget what they were.
United Streaming was what it was before Discovery Ed.
Yeah. And I remember watching a video with my kids, and it was the Falcon Feather where they showed the video of the astronaut on space dropping the hammer, dropping the feather, absence of air, very little gravity. They fall at the same rate. And I'm like, that's just, just how crazy that is that the video was taken. We have access to it to be able to show, because obviously I can't. Yeah. You have that little the vacuum tube with the penny and the feather, but it's a little quicker. Watching it on the video was pretty cool. And now to the point where that was just a video clip put together post, we're actually seeing it live. You're seeing them inside waving, getting ready to, undock, if that's the proper phrase, from the International Space Station. So really cool. All right. So because I know Dom loves him some Microsoft, gotta show him this, because I mean, this is just going to complete his day. So on Twitter X, which is what I like to call it. So today, earlier, 2:00, they released 50 years of innovation, memories, and moments that shaped us. To celebrate, we're sharing some nostalgic wallpapers down years and relive the magic. So we got a little solitaire love there.
A little Valentine's Day.
There you go. You got a little Microsoft 50 paint, and then some, updated graphics all around. And who doesn't remember the different animated mice that you can do in your different shapes back then? Kicking in with some old school Word. All right. And then you got Clippy and the whole deal. Gosh, CD-ROMs. Quiz your kids on that one. What is that exactly? And then the floppy disk in the corner.
Yeah.
And then the last one I think they have here is the old, I don't even know what version that is of Excel, but back in the day. So I just because I knew Dom probably didn't see it, he's been busy. It would break his heart if he missed getting any of those wallpapers to be able to put on that shiny little object he likes to love called a MacBook. It really could use some Microsoft wallpaper. So thought that was a good one to share. But all joking aside, dude, 50 years, holy moly,
I know,
of what they've been doing. That's just wild.
It's almost as old as me.
It's working on it. All right. Now, so let's work through the list here. I got a little setup here. I feel like this is a site I always forget about, Flippity.
Yeah.
So net, right now, just the update for those who care, tonight is the first competition night for my students, for our team. Our brackets were set on Monday. They unveiled our 4 brackets. I've shared on the pod before. It's based on I graduated from Saucon Valley up in the Lehigh Valley area. So mine's the Saucon Valley bracket, all the different teachers and where they graduate. So there's, our 4 regions for the brackets kind of set up. And then the kids get populated with the challenge site that we showed. And so, we got round 1 happening tonight. But if you're looking to do something not that extravagant or not that, involved, was read an article and actually Control-Alt-Achieve, our friend of the show, Eric Kurtz. So Flippity has a tournament bracket. So again, amongst other things, right? I'm even looking through here and I'm like, I have a chair that the kids love and I do a name picker and I roll it out. Everybody gets this special wheelie chair, like different days. I'm like, Flippity has a version of it. I'm like, gosh, that's going to show, so many less, issues and like stupid ads that are on this other website I'm using. Right. So there's a lot of good stuff here, but just looking at the demo, they kind of give you one. They do with right away I thought of you. I'm like, oh, you might be able to use with some of the different historical figures.
Yeah.
But you can go in and say, just mix things up. Okay. And then, but kind of working through, but, click to advance, control click to clear. So just kind of like, you could just double click and work on who's going to advance in the names. And so this is just demoing how to use it, but then you would go back and actually reset it and go in and put your names in. This is just the demo one. So we would look at the specific instructions of what we need to do. And here's you're going to go to this site. They make it so easy. Copy, paste in the different names that you have. What's the title, and then generate it. And so that's going to push it in for you. And then that's set. And it does give it like its own little URL. So when you do click on it, you'll have it so you can save it. So then when you're ready to advance it, control. And if you're like, okay, whomever the competition was, and just being able to really quick do that. So you could even just do it in the course of a period. Hey, we're going to bang out, do this like super review activity. Boom, both, these people are going up against each other, whatever the case may be. So I just saw that. I thought, gosh, quick, simple, easy. I mean, that's pretty much like Flippity's tagline, I think.
Yeah. Being around for so long with this, and there's people that have been at it far longer than I have. Some of the sites that, kind of went away because they weren't as shiny. Some sort of got passed by because they didn't adapt. But then they've come roaring back, and some have just been, they're not shiny and glitzy, but they're still around and they're still good and they're still strong. They're still very useful.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let me quick put this here. Hold on one second. I want to make sure people that are watching are able to see this. All right. So our next one. So we've talked about, we actually used it in our Pete and C meet and greet that we did. And it was one that you brought to my attention because I haven't used it in a while. I remember first time using it and doing some different stuff with it, but Padlet. So Padlet has, so let me go ahead and swap out our banners here so we can see it. So you can go to https://ta.padlet.com. So ta.padlet.com. And this is a beta where they're pulling in some different AI resources you can use with Padlet. There's a lesson planner. There's a presentation AI, multiple choice AI. And so they basically okay, here are some ways you can integrate AI into Padlet. So just go back to what you said, Donald, is a great segue to, some of the different, websites that were tried and true. Some have fallen off. They haven't really updated. Some are updating things, just do it quietly.
Yeah.
Here's a way where Padlet's like, hey, we're here. Here's a way where some AI pieces are going to be put in for teachers. So I saw this again, taking it off of Eric Kurtz's newsletter, just happened to be scanning that on my blogs, my blog feeds. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty good in the show. I know we have a lot of people that do like using Padlet and just the way the AI. So I would love if anybody's using this, shoot a message, eric.verno@paect.org, dominic.salvucci at paect.org. Kick us an email. How have you pulled any of this in the next couple of weeks when we could talk about it on the show?
Yeah.
So just some way to pull in QR codes, rubrics, short links, another name picker option, right? So a lot of different things going on there. So Padlet TA beta. So pulling in the AI into Padlet. And the cool thing is, pulling it all in, you don't even need you don't even have to have a Padlet set up to be able to utilize it and pull in some of your different information. So good stuff.
I think Padlet limits you to 3 Padlets with a free account.
Yeah, that's their latest and greatest. All right, so I'm doing the rapid fire, very fast Italiano conversations here. Last one.
I'm holding Charlie, and my hands aren't moving.
That's how it works. All right, so now let's kick it over to some ChatGPT. All right, so was listening to a podcast this week and heard about this new feature that ChatGPT has kind of rolled in to make life a little easier. So we've talked about, we've even talked about it with PAECT and our board and the ability to possibly pull in some of these LLMs that are being used with other AI agents. ChatGPT calls theirs GPTs. So what's really cool is you click on, so you log, it's just a free account. You click on Explore GPTs. And if they give you kind of if you're looking for writing, productivity, research, and analysis, let's click on education. It's going to kick you down. And here are some of the different connectors that there are that you can attach to ChatGPT, pulling in what they call that GPT piece to help make it even more useful. So, right, if you're looking for a book, article, or text, math solver, AI math solver, step-by-step answers, kind of walking through. And I'll be honest, Wolfram Alpha is what I've used at times, and I have used ChatGPT if I'm helping my daughters with some high school math. And then I work on reverse engineering it to help explain it, right? So one that we love using on the show is Canva. We do a lot with Canva. So you click on it, and basically it just gives you the effortlessly design anything, presentations, logos, social media posts, and more. Just gives you different ideas, some conversation starters that you might be interested in. All right. People have rated, what they've done. And then you basically click start to chat. So I've already done it, and I'll just pull up an example I did today. Right. I was like, you know what? I'm, hearing about this. Okay. My students were struggling a little bit with independent and dependent clauses. So, real simple, create a 6th grade math handout that uses independent variables and dependent variables to create graphs. That's it. That's all I typed in. Nothing too elaborate, grandiose. I think if I sat through Scott Snyder's AI session, if I sat through any AI session at Pete and C, they would have had me develop a very, much tighter, a much more specific AI prompt. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just off the cuff. Let's see what it does. And then it did some work, and it gave me. I've got my first item here. Let's see, 2, 3. I want to say 4. Yep, it gave me 4 different things. What's really cool is once you see it here, then you click on, do I want to use this template? And it'll ask permission. Oh, you know what? I already did this one, so it did it, but it will ask you permission. Will you allow me to access your Canva account? And you could say yes or no. And as you go in, and so this one gave me a presentation. It even gives you your outline. Now, bivariate data, this is something we do not use in 6th grade. Even when I showed my students, I told them, I'm like, our kids aren't using AI. It's all blocked on their thing, but I do have conversations with them about it because I want them, they're going to be consumers of it. I want them to understand, like you were saying, like that student that was, or you've shared before with students having conversations with you about AI use and things of that nature, right? Like, and I'll show them like, hey, here's what AI gave me. Here's what it was before I edited it. We needed to edit. I did a review using AI with the kids, and I knew there was, like, of the 10 questions, 6 were wrong. The answer was either wrong or the answer choice wasn't there. So we worked through it. I let them struggle a little bit through that till they were like, wait, none of these answers are right. I'm like, you're right. Here's the reason why. I said, well, you can't fully just trust that it's going to produce the greatest stuff. You have to do it. And I think we've said this on the show so many times. And I think just that epiphanal moment, it is a thought partner. It's not the be all end all. It's not doing the work for me. I still have to be there to help regulate it a little bit. So again, it walks through today. You'll be able to, all right. I'm like, I didn't even ask it to kind of give it more like a lesson plan format, but it did. And then, okay, so it actually explains what is, bivariate data. And I learned something. I'm like, okay, I didn't know what that was. All right. But we need to have both sets of data for what we're using. All right. And then it talks about cause and effect, goes into what is an independent variable. So explains what that is using the cause and effect example from before. It reviews what a dependent variable is and outlines it with the kids. And what I think is really cool, again, my prompt was just give me some examples, right? I wasn't looking for anything, elaborate. It throws in a think, pair, share. I was like shocked when I saw this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Off of that prompt, right? Then it's got graphing. Okay, that's good. I could use that, right? Show the kids how the data is working. We were laughing about, do you really think increasing the necessarily your studying hours is going to equate a great score? There might be some correlation, but it may not be 100%. So that was a fun discussion. And then there's a try this section. Okay. All right. And then, then going through and then answer key to reveal. And then again, it's just got review. So how wild is that just off of that? So that was just example number 1. I was like, that was pretty good. Then going through, I really like this infographic it gave. So again, you click on use template. These I have open in tabs. So that's why it's not asking me permission for that. I'm going to zoom in. Did a great job of just showing here's what, the variables and what's the constant, what's independent, what's dependent. All right. Working through the definitions. What is a constant? Examples. So again, I thought, wow, that's, really cool. Again, you're looking at teachers first printing those things off, putting them up on your board. That'd be great to do even with this if you wanted to. Then there's scientific variable infographic. Again, I was looking for that. And then here's, okay, identifying the dependent. This one I didn't open. So let's see if it gives me the message. Now I get, because I have all the other ones. I already have Canva open, I guess. All right. This is just going through and giving me, and this is the whiteboard. So I'd be able to share the link with the kids and we'd be able to work on this. All right. and let's see how many it gave me. I'd be able to duplicate it. So it gave me 4 examples, the different 2 pages. I'd be able to copy and paste those if I wanted multiple kids working. So again, just, I just stopped at ChatGPT. I didn't dig into using some of the other programs I used, but I just thought, wow. So explore GPT, right? Their top picks. If you're pulling in stuff with Expedia, so not just education for life, right? I want to look at plans, video AI, generate engaging videos. Maybe we could use that to make us look better and have videos produced. We'll work on that one, Dom. This is really cool. A website generator, right? I mean, anymore, like the different things that are out there. So you're able to go in and help it make a website, kind of pull that stuff out. So, again, what's trending, school enhanced research with 200 resources and built-in critical reading skills for Scholar GPT. And what's really cool too is it tells you who put it out there. So again, it's like looking for that, looking for your sources, making sure the person that you trust them. But yeah, so definitely I thought just wild. Some of the features it has that you're able to pull in. Gosh, you want to work on writing Python, right? And again, listen to some of the dorky kind of some of the different podcasts I listen to. They're like, listen, they use it, you got to go and you got to fix some things. It doesn't doesn't make it perfect, but man, talk about cutting out a lot of work right off the bat kind of a deal. So yeah. So to me, this one is the big one, right? So explore GPTs, really working on creating those and having like your own personal GPTs. I've heard of people using School AI, making web bots for kids to kind of like converse with and talk with and get some homework help if needed. And this is kind of like, this is like that next evolution, I think, of where AI is going. I'd have to pull in Rochelle Poth, a friend of the show, to get her specific expertise, if you will, on some of this, because she does a lot with AI. But from my interactions with, blogs, with articles and just having different conversations with people in the know, there's a lot of cool stuff there. So yeah. So that is a explore. I'm gonna go. I made it almost a whole show, Don. Almost a whole show.
Woo! Yeah, I was getting that. Like I said, I was getting that reflection back. So I took mine off. But that's like before the show we were talking. I had a good conversation. That's why I trolled my students, because they started off being whiny, and then after I ate the donut holes in front of them, they settled down. And the whole concept of AI isn't the end all be all. It's a tool. Use it to help do, I always call it the grunt work. Set things up, have the conversation with it, bounce things back and forth. The reflections I got from the students, some students, like the next day we did with the AI, how we did stuff. So it was acting up. Like some students, we talked having the AI in Magic School role play as, dictator. It was saying, well, I can't be a dictator. We can't do that. Can't do this. But another student right next to them asked the question slightly different, and it rolled with it. So it's interesting to see the nuances, and that's something that has to be taught. And it's an experiment. It gets the kids thinking. Just because it doesn't work right the first time doesn't mean it's not going to work at all. It's how do you get around why it's not working? What was done wrong, and roll with it. And we had that conversation today with the kids. Were like, a couple students were like, I don't like AI. Well, I'll never use AI. I'm like, do you stream music? Yes. Do you send emails? And do you spell check? I'm like, that's AI. Netflix. It doesn't tell me. It tells you. I said, because you pop up, all these things pop up. I said, if you buy stuff online, that's, an algorithm, that's AI going through and funneling stuff and giving you suggestions. And then we got a further discussions. They asked about, self-driving cars, and said, realistically, I'm of that generation that I don't know how comfortable I am with that, just with the limited self-driving that, some of the modern cars have that aren't fully self-driving, but the lane assist and the ramped up cruise control. Some I like, some I don't. And it's, it's not the end all be all. So we got a good conversation going after that.
Yeah. The other part of the again, a different podcast I was listening to, what I thought was interesting, they said, there was a lot, I guess South by Southwest happened within the last couple of weeks down in Texas area. And the different speakers that were speaking, a lot of the information that was brought out kind of buried the lead on some of the other information that's happened recently. And one of them was Google has a robot, and they've been working on, pulling in the AI and pulling in different things. And its latest feat, which when they said it, I was like, was they got the robot to tie shoelaces. And then as they were talking, I'm like, okay, what is big about this? And they said the intricacies of tying, the feeling of the pressure on the string to being able to go around and be able to pull it enough, not too much to kind of pull it through. And they said that in a lot of the tests, like the robotics group, we had them, gosh, I think are they out of the Philadelphia area? The looks like the dog robotics, the robots.
There's several in the state because we have one in Homestead. CCA has.
It might have been from you, because I think it came over because of Debbie. She's the one that had the connection. Yeah. We had them at ISTE in Philadelphia. And so, in a lot of those organizations, that's something in the back end that they're working on. A lot of, you see them like go out, get kicked, keep their balance, some of those different skills. But supposedly, like, one of the high bars is tying your shoes. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. And but they were able to have this robot successfully do that multiple times. It's Google DeepMind's AI system is what they're working on. So it's kind of interesting where things are going. And, you're either in that embracing moment, in that cautiously moving, or you're, get off of my lawn apartment, right? So everybody, you put your stake in one of those camps, right?
Think about it. Early in life and later in life, tying shoes is a highly intricate skill that people takes them a while to get, and then it starts to fade away. Oh.
Yeah, well, Girls Gone Google is giving the Google shout out. Yay there. Yes. There you go. Yeah, listen, hey, after I had my hip replaced, let me tell you, tying your shoe, that was a feat, okay? I could have used the little AI robot at that time. Just saying. Slides can only go so far, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even thinking like that's one of the hardest things for little kids, God bless elementary teachers, those K1, 2s. I met the amount of shoe tying they do. That would save them a lot of time. Talk about helping them be more productive. Go over to Sensei Shoelace, and he'll take care of your shoe for you. I'm going to keep teaching, Oh, that's funny. Good stuff. All right. Well, looking at the upcoming events, I think there's a lot of things that are in the works. We have a meeting coming up at the end of March for the PAECT board. And I believe after that time, we're going to have a lot more items on our calendar and a lot more items filled in. So, a pal would know. Come on, you should have a STEM challenge for that, buddy. All right. Feet, not feet. Punny. All right. I like it. And, but yeah, so we'll have a lot more on the calendar, a lot more to share about what's coming up with PAECT. But I think, we're going to work on sharing that next time. Yes, sir.
One thing I forgot to bring up, Fred Camp was this past Saturday. And it was at the Fred Rogers Center up at St. Vincent College. I couldn't make it this year. I've been to the first two. I didn't make it to this one. A little too far away. Weather was an issue. Family health issues were an issue. So I had to kind of stay local. But excellent time. Talking with some people last night. We had a meetup for PAECT, the Pioneer Program. People were talking about it. Once again, it was a big hit. That's always a good time. And it's usually close. So that, just with circumstances the way they were, I couldn't make it. It's kind of bummed about that, but that's always not just the camaraderie of the people, because there's a good group of people that run it. A lot of PAECT members are involved, and the other people that you run into there, but it's always a good event. So I'm looking forward, next year, hopefully I'll catch that again.
Yeah.
You go check that out. Fred Camp 2025. Look that up, and they'll have pictures and posts of that. Up on hearing about it seemed really cool. And I know they said it, sometimes it moves around. So, it might be third year, third different location. And it was tight. The first one was two have been around the Pittsburgh area. And they were easy to get to. This one wasn't too bad to get to, but it's probably a little over about 2-hour drive because it's off the highway.
Okay. All right.
But
yeah. Good stuff. Well, hey, what I'll do is 2 quick shout outs. We got the weekend of April 12th. I think April 12th would be possibly the Saturday. Let me check my time.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So April 12th, we have 2 things going on. So in the South Central area, there is an ed camp happening at York County School of Technology. So South Central I guess they're calling it South Central Ed Camp is what the name is, formerly known as York Ed Camp. So that's happening in the South Central area. All right. Act 48 hours offered, free to go. So those are kicking back in. Meg Tyson in the comments. She's one of the active participants in working on that when she's not attending St. Patrick's Day parades as a mascot. Maybe she'll comment on that. But and then there's that. And then the other one is our TERS conference that's happening on the hallowed grounds of Bloomsburg University. And that's our higher ed conference. So I listen, I had a tough deal having to which one am I going to go to? South Central. I'm right here. Go support our higher ed. So I will be attending the TERS conference up in Bloomsburg. So I'll be on campus for the day there to hear the different sessions and things that are going on. So, but in classic Verno Flash fashion, I will be on campus at Bloom, and my daughter will not. She'll be at a conference. So the blow up shamrock costume was a hit. That's what she was. I couldn't remember what it was. And she was all excited to be on, get different coverage, whether it was Harrisburg, or just the York coverage and things of that nature. So she was living her glory. So it was all good. So yeah, a lot of good stuff, a lot of great things happening. But again, once the regional directors get together up at State College and they're able to really fill out the glide show and fill out the calendar, we'll make sure that we make it an emphasis point to share that on our next pod.
Yeah. And we have Remake Learning Days coming up here mid-April through May. So, we'll be advertising some of that stuff. A lot of PACT members are doing a lot of cool things through Remake Learning Days.
Yeah, a lot of really good stuff. Dom's so excited he froze again.
Yes.
All right. All right. So really good stuff going on. But yeah, I think that's going to be kicking it. It's 48 minutes. Might be a record for us and getting things rolling. Oh, close up of the dog. Hello, Charlie. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, that's you. That's me. That's PACT. All sorts of shenanigans happening. And as always, remember, PACT.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right. Thank you so much for joining. Let's thank our sponsors. Have a great rest of your March.
Take care, everybody. PAECT would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors.
Venture sponsor, EduSpire, corporate council members, ClassLink, ClearTouch.
Thank you to our gold sponsors.
And Teachers First.
We at PAECT truly appreciate your support. Thank you once again.